Joining us now, Mr. Danny Barron, Barron Group, Keller Williams. Danny, welcome.
Pleasure to be here, Ryan, as always.
Welcome back, I guess I should say. We had you on in season one, but not in the studio. We were out at a hottest property of yours, a listing that I'm sure is long gone and sold.
Long gone, brother. As most things in this market have been, they come and they go very quickly.
Right, they do. And we were just chatting before about, the market's changing a little bit, getting into the fall and winter here, maybe seeing a little bit of seasonality this year, but still a hot market.
Absolutely, and I think this is something you said to me once, and maybe 6 months ago, you said, you know what, people are claiming that the market's slowing down. You said, it's tough to claim it's slowing down when it's going from 110% down to 90% high.
Right.
So I think some of the myths that we're seeing right now is people are coming to me and saying, oh my gosh, it really seems like things have slowed down.
Right.
Here's my take on that. I really think for so long we saw people listing properties at levels that made sense. They would look across the neighborhood and they'd say, you know what, these properties around here are listing, let's go with an example, at $300,000. So we're gonna try to list at $305 and see what we can do.
Yeah.
And then they would get $315 or $325. And we saw those neighborhoods continuously build up on each other for the last 12 to 18 months.
Right.
I would say kind of starting around July 4th this year, which is a traditional lull in the real estate market that we didn't see last year. There was no lull whatsoever.
Right.
Things got crazy.
Yeah, different market,
Absolutely.
different year.
And something that we saw this year at July 4th, we saw the number of showings slow down a little bit, but really we saw that pricing model that people were trying to follow. No longer were buyers walking up and saying, fine, we'll do whatever it takes.
Right.
They were finally crossing their arms and saying, that's too much.
Right.
And I think we had not seen that for such a long time that it caught a lot of people by surprise. And now we're seeing those days on market go up for some of these homes that are priced what we would call astronomically.
Right.
But for so long, astronomically priced homes were flying still.
Sure.
So it's been a kind of a readjustment now where I have told our sellers now we can trust the comps again. I think we are in a position, and that's not true maybe in all neighborhoods. Some of these neighborhoods around town, you get into your Masons and your Hyde Parks and some of those areas where people are still really wanting to be there, and that one home comes on the market, it's still flying pretty high. But I think as a realtor now, I can look again and feel like I can interpret the market, which for almost a year in there, it felt like nobody knew what was going on because things were just jumping so much. So I think
would just stack the prices up and up and up and could kind of get whatever they wanted and then some.
And those seller terms they're getting were no inspections. They were getting, occupancy. We had a seller and a buyer in the same transaction that they sold and they were buying in June, and no one moved until September.
Wow.
There was no rent payment. That was what it took from a term perspective to win that house. Nobody asked any questions. They all wanted those homes and they said, great, we'll buy it. We'll wait till September and we'll pay the mortgage in the meantime.
Yeah, almost unheard of until the last 18 months or so.
And I was talking to a more seasoned agent about that, and he looked at me and said, I've never heard of that.
No.
And I said, well, it's 2021. I think that's the way it goes now to win a house, right?
Right. That is the way it goes. But calm it down a little bit. We're seeing, no longer 79% of houses getting multiple offers or whatever the number was back in the spring. Now it's down to 59%.
Right.
So still better than half of homes are getting multiple offers. But instead of 6 or 7 offers per house, what, 2 or 3 anecdotally, something like that?
Totally.
Yeah.
And you still see the ones where when people price them aggressively, and this is something we tell all of our buyers, a list price is something that's made up by a seller and their realtor.
Right.
Hopefully they're interpreting the market and picking a fair value, but if you know your house is worth $250 and you list it at $235, of course you get 20 offers. That's not a mystery, that's just a strategy.
Right.
When houses are priced correctly, I think we're more in that 2 to 3 range instead of the 10 to 20 range that even a correct pricing maybe would have brought in 2020 or early 2021.
Right. But a good time to be a buyer, it sounds like, if houses are only getting 2 and 3 offers on average versus 6, 7 or more. Yeah.
This is it's a very funny, and I mentioned this before we came on, it's very funny to me that I actually right now, and I can't always do this, I can't always tell buyers and sellers, hey, it's a good time.
Right.
And as someone that tries to have some integrity at some level, it's very hard to tell someone, yeah, you should sell your house if you know it's not in their best interest.
Right.
But right now, because of the level of inventory in the winter, it's going to be almost nothing on the market. So it's not a bad time to sell your house.
Right.
But as a buyer, so many people hang it up for the winter and say, we'll try again in March, April, May, that it's really not a bad time to buy a house. So I think those people might find each other and people could get some good deals this winter. The real estate market's not going to die. It is going to slow down a little bit.
There's less competition on both sides. The people that are out there in the fall and the winter tend to be a little more serious.
Absolutely.
So yeah, to your point, great time to be a buyer. We talked before about, interest rates creeping up a little bit, still near historical lows, expected to go up even more next year. So yeah, you want to be out there and be a buyer now and buy now versus wait until the spring or summer of next year.
Locking in that 30-year fixed rate's a pretty good deal when you're getting the numbers that you're getting right now.
Yes, it is. Well, Danny, always a pleasure to have you on. Always great information.
Appreciate it, Ryan.
Yep.